Many movement artists neglect knee stability training, and that's going to be a big mistake if you want to maximize your performance and longevity as an athlete. In this video, we're going to be going over how to take your knee stability to the next level, reducing risk for serious injuries such as ACL tears in the process. All right, let's get started. Hey guys, Neil T. Stunt with TrickStrong.com, where we help you perform without limitations. So what is stability? The simplest definition we have is preventing unwanted motion. So in the case of knee stability, we might think of standing on one leg, standing in a very quiet environment with our eyes closed and saying namaste. That might have its place in very early rehab, but true high-level stability is actually preventing unwanted motion in any environment. And in athletics, that tends to be a chaotic environment where your attention is to multiple tasks and there are a high degree of load, speed, and multiple directions to control for. So in our rehab, we need to get to that level and beyond it in order to protect ourselves from injuries such as ACL tears. Research, as well as my own personal and professional experience, suggests that that is exactly when knee injuries occur, when you least expect them and when there's a high degree of load and force. So in this video, we're going to be breaking down 3 proven research-backed exercises to improve the stability of the knee, which has been shown to reduce ACL injury, reduce hamstring injury, and any other serious injury around the knee. And that's going to be very important for us movement artists that want to trick, dance, do parkour, do stunts, etc. And it's really going to help you lock down that knee stability for any athletic endeavor. All right, let's go. The first exercise we're going to be going over today are side hops, and these are going to be amazing for improving your lateral knee stability as well as neuromuscular control. And that just means that you have your mind-muscle connection going to that knee, and that's going to be that much more enhanced by doing this exercise. So you're going to take a 6-inch piece of tape. If you train in a gymnastics gym, that's perfect because the tape is about 4 inches. So if you're jumping over that line, that's going to be the perfect distance for this exercise. If you don't have that, you can either measure it out or just take about the width of your hand and then jump over a line of that width. And what that's going to do is going to increase the stability demands even further. So research has shown that that 6-inch mark is pretty good to challenge that lateral knee stability. And research has shown that including lateral plyometrics, such as the side hop, is going to reduce our risk of injury. So this is going to be an awesome way to quickly, without any equipment, just improve your knee stability. Tips to getting the most out of the side hop are to keep your eyes ahead, because the ACL research has shown that people have a tendency to rely on their visual system after ACL injury and not their proprioceptive system. So that means that you might be staring at the ground to see where your knee is landing. And I'm encouraging you to get the most out of this exercise to actually look ahead so we can rely on our body sense to know where our limb is in space, because when you're doing sports, you're not going to be able to always stare at the ground in order to protect your knee. Second, try to keep your knee tracking over your toes. So we don't want it to go in or out, especially inside, and we call that knee valgus. We want to keep it in line with your foot. And that's going to really help train your knee stability. For sets and reps, we can do about 3 sets of 15 reps. And you could do that about 3 times a week. Just throw that into your warm-up, and that's gonna be a perfect way to prepare for your activity while getting some conditioning in. The next exercise we're gonna be going over are drop jumps. And these are all about controlling our landing. So we're gonna be improving our landing mechanics, which is gonna be essential for sports like tricking, martial arts, stunts, parkour, where we're landing from heights frequently. And even if you're not jumping and landing as much, if your sport involves a lot of pivoting, this is going to be very helpful in decelerating that momentum. So you're definitely going to want to include these into your routine. The progression we recommend is starting from a lower height and using 2 feet. Then you could start from a higher height using 2 feet. And then you could take that same progression again, but use 1 foot. And what that's going to do is going to help stabilize you and teach your body how to stabilize and decelerate that force when you have to land a jump or pivot from a skill or activity that you're doing. Like, so let's say you're sprinting and you have to cut suddenly. This is really going to help you control those forces at the knee. Research has shown 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps 2 to 3 times a week would be a really good starting point for you to improve your landing mechanics and get the benefits out of this exercise. If If you want to take it a step further, you can actually do depth jumps, which involve stabilizing that knee, but then now you're going to have to stabilize it to the point where you're getting power out of that jump. So once you land, you act like the floor is hot lava, you jump again as high as you can, and then you land that second jump. This is going to be a lot more intense, and I would personally recommend less reps per set for this one. So about 3 sets of about 5 reps. Things to look out for with the landing mechanics are making sure that your knees aren't caving in, and then you can land and stabilize for at least 2 to 3 seconds. These higher level plyometrics like drop jumps and depth jumps are going to be essential if you're doing sports like tricking, where you really have to control those forces. So don't stop at 6 to 12 inches like a lot of the studies recommend. I would go a little bit further, obviously progressing in time. As long as the landings are clean, keep pushing the envelope, because that's going to mimic the demands of your sport. The third exercise we're going to be going over today are Nordic hamstring curls, and they're very popular for good reason. So, little anatomy lesson here real quick is that this is our femur and this is our tibia. So if you can imagine that this is the shin bone, the tibia, if it's going forward, that's going to add stress to the ACL. So the hamstrings actually help in preventing ACL injury by pulling that tibia backward. So it actually helps prevent load going through the ACL. So we're really going to want to use hamstring exercises, especially ones that eccentrically load or load the hamstring under length. And the Nordic hamstring curl has been shown by research to really help in that. One study has shown that there was a 51% reduction in hamstring injuries by incorporating Nordic curls into the training. And I understand not everyone has access to be able to do this exercise. It's a little bit of a challenging setup. So don't worry, after we get through these progressions, we're gonna go to some very, very good research-backed alternatives that can help strengthen the hamstring eccentrically to help prevent that ACL injury. So our first Nordic progression is going to be just going eccentrically. So as Nordic curls are very difficult, you might just be able to lower and do the negatives, and that is perfectly okay, and that's going to be where you want to start. And that's going to definitely help strengthen your hamstring. The next progression I would recommend is partial range. So now you can start to try to come up, but you're going to do that through a partial range of motion. Next, you could use a band-assisted Nordic curl to strengthen your full range of motion, but with reduced body weight. And honestly, you could actually go straight to this progression if you have the setup and availability, because you can just start with a very heavy assistance, and then you can progress through the ranks until you're able to do it on your own. And of course, the last progression would be just doing a full Nordic hamstring curl through full range of motion. So if you don't have access to a Nordic curl setup, or it is just too difficult for you at this time, these are the alternatives you're going to use that are backed by research. The first one is going to be a kettlebell swing. It's going to be awesome for actually developing power through the hamstrings and teaching our body to not only rely on knee strength and mobility, but also to rely on the hips to generate power. The next one is going to be RDLs, a classic. You just need a weight, and it's going to be a very good way to help progressively load that hamstring eccentrically. And the last one I'm going to recommend to you today are hamstring sliders. So if you have none of that equipment, but you have a physio ball or you have a foam roller or even a furniture slider, actually, hamstring sliders have been shown to really help eccentrically load that hamstring and protect against ACL injury. The important part with all of these exercises is that you're progressively challenging yourself. So you're going to or near failure. With the Nordic curl, you might want to choose a higher rep range so that you're not straining yourself too much, because this is a very high load exercise. So definitely use those regressions such as the pull-up assist band, and then try to get to about 5 to 8 reps of about 3 sets. That is your goal. You want to have enough volume so that you're actually challenging the hamstring in a way that will help stimulate hypertrophy or growth of that muscle as well. So if you're only able to do 1 or 2 reps, then definitely take it down using the banded assisted version, for example, to get to those 5 to 8 reps. For the other exercises, you can do 2 to 3 sets of about 10 reps, and making the weight that you're going to be using very challenging towards those last few reps. And there we go, 3 exercises that are really going to help boost your knee stability and prevent serious injuries such as ACL tears. And if this feels too advanced for you right now, then definitely check out our other videos on the channel. We have basic knee pain relief exercises and knee strengthening exercises that you can do. And then come back to here once you have that proper foundation. And if you want a full guide, complete guide from rehab to elite performance, then definitely check out our TrickStrong RX app. This has helped hundreds of movement athletes, such as yourself, get back from injury and get really strong and resilient knees. And let us know in the comments below, what exercise do you think will help you the most for your issue? All right, guys, stay strong, stay safe, and we'll see you soon for the next one.